What's up, everyone? My name's John. Today I'm going to take you through some of the hardware speculations of the Nintendo NX, and it's kind of picked up recently since Nvidia's been announcing different chips and their video cards, and now they've announced their next mobile chip, the X1 or the X2. I'm sorry, the X1 was the last generation. The X2, dubbed Parker, which is actually going to run on the Pascal architecture that the 1070, 1060, and 1080, all three of those cards, all run on. And what's interesting about this is for a while, we all pretty much assumed that AMD and ATI were going to be powering the NX, just because they've been doing it for the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Wii U at this point. So it was kind of shocking to see the Nvidia actually kind of put a chip out that seems to play into Nintendo's favor, with their NX being a possible home console / handheld hybrid. So what we kind of see here with the X2, which I'll put up on the screen here, is that it's actually a pretty powerful little chip that may actually be able to be passively cooled, which would be huge for the handheld side. If it's passively cooled and doesn't need a fan, then it's going to fit perfectly into what could be a handheld that walks away from the dock when you leave the house. So what we see here is the possible chip that could be going to the NX has 1.5 teraflops of what it's called as floating point compute performance. Now, see, that is half precision at FP16. Now, that's misleading because that's kind of what they put up on the big screen and kind of made that small. See, FP16 is actually double the performance of what most consoles are actually measured with. So most consoles are measured at what's called full precision floating point compute performance, or FP32, which if you perform at 1.5 teraflops for FP16, you're going to perform half of that. So in reality, the X2 Parker chip is actually, if you put it on the same level as the PS4 and the Xbox One testing guidelines, it's going to be right around half of 1.5 teraflops or 750 gigaflops. So you're going to be still pretty weak compared to the Xbox One and the PS4, but if you take that same number and compare it to the Wii U, which was right around 350 gigaflops, you're still at least twice as powerful as what the Wii U was. And if you do take it away from the dock, for example, and it drops to a lower power state, even half of that 750 gigaflops is still on par, essentially, with what the Wii U is. So we could technically leave with this handheld that is the NX, and it's as powerful as the Wii U in our pocket, which would be tremendous if you really consider the capabilities of that handheld then. The X2 will also be capable, if you look down the list here, put that up as well, will actually be capable of 4K video. Now, gameplay is pretty much out of the question with the power that's being put up here and displayed, because let's face it, most computers now can't get to 4K at a stable 60 frames still. Even if you put thousands of dollars into a computer, you're still going to struggle at 4K for certain games. Now, we'll get there eventually. Maybe 5-10 years from now, we'll have, I'm sure, 4K 60 across the board, but for now, we're not even close. So I would expect 4K video like Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, maybe media off of like a USB stick, since Nintendo does not seem to support Blu-ray or, strangely enough, DVDs at this point. HDR appears to also be supported, which is great. So we'll have that as well for people who have HDR-capable TVs, which I think most households still don't even have a 4K TV. So the NX will probably will operate around 1080p. I would expect probably a standard of 30 frames, more than likely, unless they tone down some of the graphics and get 260 that way, because we also saw the Xbox One had a lot of trouble with that, and a lot of it would be upscaled from 900 or even 720p, whereas the PS4, which is, unfortunately, actually, it looks like it's going to be the PS4 base model, will still be almost 2.5 times more powerful than the Xbox One, which is kind of a downer, considering that the NX will be a new system, basically still being outperformed by the old stuff, and it's going to be well outclassed by the PS4 Pro and the eventual Scorpio. So if Nintendo is looking to keep the NX around for a while, they're going to have to come up with some really good games. And we did see Zelda I'll put that up on the screen here too. And Zelda looks great, of course, but some of the really big things about the NX that I'm really happy for is the chip. If they do choose that X2 chip, it is going to support Unreal 4. Now, there's actually a couple people who have taken Unreal 4 engines and done things like make Mario from the Nintendo 64 and put that in Unreal 4, and then you've also just had a couple weeks ago someone actually take it and put it into like just straight Unreal 4 engine, and it looks amazing. Like, the graphics look great. Now, I don't think the NX would be able to support all the details you're going to see in this video, but there's a good chance it's going to support most of it. So they have a lot of things they can do now that they couldn't before with the Wii U. And if they do get to the point where the NX looks similar to the Wii U, because it'll have a handheld and it may have a docking base, you may see backwards compatible with the Wii U, although they do say that, according to Nintendo, that they are going to support the Wii U, the 3DS, and the NX all at once, which seems kind of odd to me, considering the Wii U is not getting a lot of releases going forward. We have Paper Mario Color Splash is coming out, and then we have Zelda, and I'm sure some shovelware here and there, but as of now, there's not a lot coming out for the Wii U, so we'll see what they do from there. Of course, the 3DS is pretty much the big money maker, so they'll continue to support that. But we'll kind of go from there and see what they do. Hopefully they do set up a Nintendo Direct soon to announce this, because the speculation online is just getting out of control. Every day it seems like there's new rumors coming for the Nintendo NX, so I think we're all just ready for them to announce it, and then we can kind of go over it then. So keep an eye on the channel here for any updates or news coming through for the Nintendo NX, and we'll see you guys then.